All right, hello. I just wanted to go through a couple of the questions we've done this last week that a large number of people in the class struggled with. So I wanted to go through, these are again, these type of, you have to show your work, you have to explain type of questions which we struggle on. So the first one, show that John keeps 1/3 of the raffle winnings. Some people just said 1/3 plus 2/3 equals 1. Well, yes, that's true, but how does that show me that John keeps 1/3 of the raffle winnings? I don't know. What's the 2/3? Where did the 2/3 come from? Where did the 1/3 come from? Did I just make those up? We need to explain these things. So I think perhaps the easiest way would be John. I'm just going to use J for John. Again, we need to explain what our working is when we do these type of problems. Equals 30 minus 20 equals 10. So John has 10 pounds and there's 30 pounds. So 10 out of 30 equals 1/3. Notice I didn't just say J equals 10 and then he has 1/3. No, I showed there's 30 pounds total. He has 10. Why does he have 10? I showed how he got 10. A lot of people skipped that. A lot of people just said 10 out of 30 equals 1/3. Well, okay, but where did the 10 come from? We have to explain in detail. Okay, and then the second bit. Does John get 1/3 as much as Paul? Well, we already showed John gets 10. Paul equals 20, so 10 divided by 20 equals 1/2. Okay, so you need to explain. That's my working out. Does John get as much as Paul? Or does John get 1/3 as much? No. Okay, and then it says explain your answer. Okay, John gets 1/2 as much as Paul. You have to explain with some working out. So I can use a little bit of my working out from the first question with a little bit of more working out to go ahead and answer the question. What is the ratio of blue to yellow shapes? There's nothing wrong with your computer monitor. Remember this magical number called 0. There are 0 yellow shapes. How many blue shapes are there? 4. So the ratio of blue to yellow is 4 to 0. Yes, 0. Nothing. Now, can we simplify ratios? How do we simplify ratios? We divide both sides by the same thing. So what can I divide here? Well, I can divide both sides by 4. I can divide both sides by 4, which leaves me with 1 to 0. The ratio of blue to yellow shapes is 1 to 0. Okay, this is tricky. This is a harder type of problem. We haven't really looked at many of these like these yet. Red to yellow. Okay, the easiest way is to lay these out. Red to yellow and yellow to green. Okay, so red to yellow is 7 to 8. Okay, and yellow to green is 6 to 5. Okay, now I can't just write all these numbers in a row. The key is I need to make one of the numbers the same so I can compare like with like. Well, what can I do? Yellow, one of my yellow ratios has 8 and one has 6. So in other words, we're looking for what's the lowest common multiple of 8 and 6. Let's find equivalent ratios so the yellow part is the same. Okay, well, the 7 to 8, right? I can multiply both of those by 3. So that gives me 21 to 24. Okay, and the other one, I need the 6 to 24. That's by 4, so that's 24. And the green times 4 is 20. So my final answer is 21 to 24 to 20. Now I need to check, can I simplify that? Are there any common factors? No, no common factors. So that's my final answer, red to yellow to green. Again, make sure, notice I put the headings at the top so I can make sure that I kept the things in the order they wanted me to give them in. Okay, this last one was a tricky one, required a little bit of work. First thing to do is I write down the list. So let's do that. The number 1 once, 2 twice. I'm going to use the magic of video. Watch how quickly I can do this now. Okay, presto magic, I've made my list. I made it like that so it's easier to see what's going on. Now they want the ratio of odd to even. Odd to even in simplest terms. Okay, well, odd. There's one odd there. we'll do a different color here. How about that? We'll do, there's 1 odd there, there's 3 there, there's 5 there, there's 7 there, there's 9 there. If I add those up, 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 5 is 9, plus 9 is 18, plus 7 is 25. Okay, so from 1 to 10, there's 25 odd ones. And if I look at the even ones, right, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. If I add those up, 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 6 is 12, plus 8 is 20. Okay, so the ratio of odd to even in that list is 25 to 30. We know right away we can simplify this to 5 to 6. That's our answer for part A, is 5 to 6. Now part B, they want to know what's the ratio if I made my list up to 1,000. Going to be a lot of work to try to write that up to 1,000. So let's look for patterns, and that's what they're reminding us. Look at it. What about if our list just goes to 2, 4, 6, 8? We've already drawn those lists, and then let's look for a pattern. Okay, so for 2, okay, the odd ones are just 1, and the even ones are 2, 1 to 2. For my list up to 4, okay, my odd ones are 1 plus 3, which is 4, and my even ones are 2 plus 4, which is 6, and that simplifies, doesn't it, 2 to 3. Okay, what about to 6? My odd ones are 1, 3, and 5, which is 9, and my even ones are 2, 4, and 6, which is 12, and that simplifies, doesn't it, to 3 to 4. Okay, what about for 8? My odd ones are 1, 3, 5, 7, which is, what, 16, and my evens are 2, 4, 6, 8. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 8 is 20. And that simplifies, doesn't it, 4 to 5. Okay, and then we've already done 10 right up here. That's 10. Okay, so I'm going to just put these, rewrite these in order. It might make it easier to see our pattern. Okay, so for 2, it was, my ratio was 1 to 2. For 4, it was 2 to 3. For 6, it was 3 to 4. For 8, 4 to 5, and for 10 it was 5 to 6. And I want to know, what about 1,000? What's it going to be? Well, let's look for the pattern. First off, what do we notice? The second number is always 1 bigger than the first number, isn't it? Okay, well, how are we going to work out what the first number is? Well, notice the first number is always half of the red number, isn't it? When I go, my list goes up to 2, my ratio starts at 1. When it goes up to 4, my ratio starts at 2, and so on. So what do we think it's going to be? If my list goes up to 1,000, my first number is going to be 500. The second number is always 1 more than that, isn't it? There's our answer. The ratio of odds to evens, if I made that list up to 1,000, is 500 to 501. That can't be simplified. So that's our final answer. Again, it's about looking for patterns, trying to recognize those patterns.